Now, Tony, we'll go back to Thursday night and Joel Thompson hit on Blake Austin. In this case, though, there was no intervention from the bunker. Could you explain why?
Yeah, there's a couple of elements to this. Obviously, it's an expectation that the on-field officials first and foremost get any high tackle. It was missed on-field by those referees. The bunker reviewed the incident. For the bunker to be involved in foul play, obviously for them, they need to be satisfied that it's more likely that the person will be charged. They have to make that assessment in real time. Unlike the match review committee who have time to process it in more detail. In those circumstances we elected to play on, but certainly it should have been a penalty given on field.
And the parameters around that have changed slightly since the coaches' meeting?
Yeah, there has been. Obviously initially it was a reportable offence. That was never really defined. We now want them to be satisfied that it's more likely that the person will be charged. They're looking at it in those detail now, so in that hybrid period until we can get back before Competitions Committee, we'll stick with this.
Now we go to Friday night and Adam Reynolds. Now there was a decision which went to the bunker. It was deemed a no try. Could you take us through that one? Were you comfortable with the no try decision there for Adam Reynolds?
Yes, I was. If you look at the front-on version, angle, you can see that the ball touches the arm of Adam Reynolds, the left arm around the bicep area. The ball then goes to ground and he then grounds it with his torso. At the point in which it hits his arm and then touches the ground, that constitutes the knock-on. So they had sufficient evidence to overturn it and fully understand how they did that.
Saturday night and the double header, Jonathan Thurston attempting a field goal there. There were some suggestions that Cameron Smith might not have been square at the marker.
You can see from the still shot here from behind the ground that Cameron Smith is square at the point in which the ball is played. He was entitled then to chase, did so it was a correct decision to play on.
Now there are a number of close calls around passes which led to tries or potential tries over the course of the weekend. Michael Jennings to Semi Radradra, Bryson Goodwin to Luke Keary, as well as the Daly Cherry Evans one to Matthew Wright. Were you comfortable with those decisions? Yeah,
I've reviewed all of those, the three main ones that we're speaking about. Certainly in relation to the two out of the Parramatta South game, I'm very comfortable with that. The player had momentum in his run, passes the ball backwards. Despite the ball carrying forward across the ground, the ball certainly is thrown and propelled backwards. That's play on and correctly ruled by the on-field officials. In relation to the Cherry Evans one, I think that should have been play on as well. I don't think the pass is forward. The referee should have played on in those circumstances.
Okay, this year we've got a new rule around the wall, and we saw the first penalty for a wall, which was used by the Dragons on Thursday night.
Yeah, obviously a couple of weeks ago we related to one that we didn't rule correctly out of the Penrith-Canberra game, but certainly on Thursday night in relation to the actions by the St George players where they lined up side by side next to the play the ball and impeded the defender from having a direct line at the player in possession. That's a penalty and correctly ruled by the referees on field.
Now, obstruction, quite a number of decisions over the course of the weekend which were actually made by the on-field officials.
Yeah, obviously we encourage your referees to make their decisions on field, and certainly this weekend brought a couple of plays where there was obstruction and the referee ruled on field, and correctly so. So there was a few of those, and we can see the vision of those now. But if you run behind your own player and impede the defensive line, should be a penalty and correctly ruled on field.
Okay, well thanks for your time, Tony.
No problems, Glenn.